Alright guys, so today we're going to be testing 5 random camping items from Amazon. First item is going to be this thing. This is supposed to be a way that you can make toast while camping. It's some type of plate. We got some tongs. So the first rule of tongs, gotta clack them, make sure they work. These ones work. So this thing is essentially, as far as I understand, like a hot plate. How do you... What's going on here? I don't know if that's supposed to be like that. Oh, wait a minute. I think I understand. Okay. So it's essentially like a hot plate that you put over your stove, and then you put slices of bread here, and it's supposed to toast them. So I have a little camping stove here. Let's get this bad boy going. I don't know how hot we're supposed to get this. Should be this easy. Just put this on here. One of these two things is not even. Anyway, that's not that big of a deal. There's a lot of heat coming through here. So we got our bread. I hope this works good, because this would be actually pretty cool. So we should just be able to put our bread right here. And we should be making toast. Let's turn it up a little bit. Get some speed toast. The bottom of the plate is getting red hot. There's tons of heat coming out of the top, but the bread does not seem like it's getting toasted at all. This is actually pretty strange. There's none of this. Yeah, it's not getting toasted at all. This must just take some time, because I had high expectations for this. Oh, it looks like we're starting to get toasted a little bit. This thing puts off a lot of heat, I can tell you that. I'm gonna start sweating here in a minute. I mean, it's like this whole area just feels like a giant heater. This would probably actually be pretty good if it was like snowing or something. Nothing is really happening. Oh, maybe I spoke too soon. This one's kind of getting toasted a little bit. Some of these other ones are not. Like this one's only gotten half toasted, while this one has gotten pretty toasted and even burnt on the bottom. Actually, very burnt on the bottom. Actually, let's flip this one over. This one, same deal. One half, not toasted at all. That half, pretty toasted. And these tongs aren't really all that necessary. This piece has not been toasted hardly at all, and this piece is still half toasted. It's kind of weird how there's so many inconsistencies. Like the burner is dead center. This one's still like almost nothing. Almost no toast whatsoever. Well, you got this one over here, the bottom is completely charcoaled. That side's done. And this side arguably is done. Turn this way. This is so weird to me. Especially, like this one is just now getting like halfway toasted on one side. Bottom's not burnt, nothing. This one is, the bottom is starting to get burnt. This one's actually probably pretty alright. I would call that done. Oh, this one is starting to burn all of a sudden. Why is this piece of bread taking so long? Do we need to move slots or something? Give this one the crunch test. I mean, that's toast. That is definitely some good toast. Oh, this one's done. Oh, never mind. No, it's not. So I gotta flip it over here. I think you're going to lose a lot of efficiency with this, because every time you take, like, especially when the toast doesn't cook evenly, and some pieces are getting burnt like charcoal, and other pieces are barely getting toasted at all, but when they're all on here, it kind of keeps the heat in. But now, if you only have two slices, all the heat has all the space to the top and has all this way to escape. I don't think it's going to cook this fast. This one, we can call that done. This one, let's just put this here maybe. Maybe the top is like a speed toast. That's like kind of done. Let's move that out of the way, because that is getting very hot. So here's what we ended up with. This one was done first. Or no, that one was done first. That one was done second, third, and fourth. We have like just a very inconsistent toast. They're all more done on the bottom than they are at the top, which is to be expected. I mean, the bottom is closest to the flame. It confuses me how something like this can be charcoal on the bottom, and then a piece like this can take like 4 times as long, never get burnt, and barely even get as toasty. But other than that, I mean, the thing does make toast. So if you were camping, or if you were like surviving or backpacking or something, you wanted a way to make toast, if you got this, you could make toast. I guess it just depends how picky you are on if you would like it or not. Because I know some people would look at something like this and say that this is completely burnt and it's bad. And some people only want toast that's like, say like this, that's just the slightest bit brown, and anything more than that is burnt. So I guess it would just depend how picky you are. But it does do its job. Alright guys, so before we go any farther, this video is sponsored by Private Internet Access. Private Internet Access is a world-leading VPN provider. They have over 30 million downloads, 10 plus years of experience, and 100% open source software. So what is a VPN and why do you need one? So to make a long story short, a VPN stands for Virtual Private Network, and what it does is it encrypts your internet connection and keeps you safe from people trying to steal your identity, your credit card information, things like that. Now that is probably the most important feature of a VPN, but there's 2 other things that I want to mention that are really cool that you can do with a VPN. So with Private Internet Access, they have servers all over the world. So let's say you're in America and you watch Netflix and you want to watch Netflix shows that are exclusive to the UK. Well, all you have to do is log in, connect to a server over in the UK, and there you go. Now you have access to the entire UK library. Or vice versa. You're in the UK, you want to watch American shows that are exclusive to America? Do the same thing. And then Private Internet Access also has a new feature where they have servers in all 50 states. So say you're in Texas and you need to access a website in New York City, and the website is only available in New York. You can find a server in New York, connect to it, and now you have access to that website. So that's just a couple things that a VPN can do that are very useful. So if you are interested, you can click the link in the top of my description and you will get 83% off plus 4 free months. All right, our next item is in this little tiny box. This is tiny, and it was also cheap. I think I paid like $7 for this maybe. It is supposed to be a miniature little gas stove, kind of like the one we just used to make toast, but very small. Let's see. Okay. That is tiny. That is so tiny. And you just kind of fold this out, and then you just have a little place to put your pot. We have a little gas canister here. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to see how long it takes to boil a pot of water. Let's go ahead and get this going. Oh, okay. So there's not much in between. It's pretty much on or it's off. Okay, let's keep that thing down right there. Put it on here. All right, I'm gonna start a timer. All right, 3, 2, 1. That thing is loud. Alright, we just hit 15 minutes. We are pretty much at a rolling boil. We are at it bounces between 210 and 212 degrees. Okay. Turn that loud thing off, jeez. So, pretty much right at 15 minutes, we are boiling. Like I said, we are bouncing between, well, now we're kind of dropping down a little bit. But we were going between 210 to 212. So, 15 minutes for this little thing to boil a whole pot of water. I don't think that's bad at all, to be honest. Especially for how small this is. Feels like we still got quite a bit of fuel in there. I felt like we were going to run out of fuel because it was getting kind of sputtering a little bit there towards the end. I mean, what else is there to say? I think it's fair to mention that if you were to take this camping or backpacking or something, you're not going to have a pot this big. I guess maybe you could, but you're not going to have a stove this size and then have a pot this size. It just wouldn't make sense. You're probably going to have one of those tiny little, just little cup pot type things that would probably heat up in just 2 to 3 minutes or so. I think this thing would be more than adequate enough for camping, backpacking, whatever. And it actually did really good. So I kind of like it. All right, our next product is a fire starter, and it is Blackbeard Fire Starter. This is something, I've got so many requests to do this, and it's supposed to be, I think, just your typical, waterproof, windproof, blah, 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 everything proof fire starter that you can get wet and do all that stuff with. And I think it's supposed to be some type of like rope or something. Yeah, it's rope. I don't know, charcoal rope? It's supposed to be waterproof. Yeah, let's just put the whole thing in there. Okay, it's in water. And it doesn't light. Imagine that. Maybe it will after it dries. This isn't looking good. Is there some type of secret to it? Are you supposed to like fan it out or something maybe? Maybe try this little piece down here. Oh. Okay. Let's see. Maybe the rest of it will catch on fire. Oh, okay. So maybe that's the secret. So, get it wet. Maybe you just gotta... You gotta break up the little fibers. And then it'll work. Okay. Okay. I mean, it's on fire, but that's not very impressive. Especially considering you have to hold the lighter on it. And if you were able to hold a lighter on this to get it lighted, or to get it lit, you wouldn't need this because you have a lighter. I don't think in a million years just like a spark would catch this stuff on fire. Because if an active flame doesn't even catch it on fire, the only thing it's going to catch is these little tiny pieces eventually after the water gets out. Maybe I need to look this stuff up. Because maybe I'm a little bit out of line here, but I thought this stuff was supposed to be waterproof. Found a video, and apparently what you're supposed to do is cut off a piece of it and then like fluff it up, and then it's supposed to work. So, which is essentially kind of what I was doing, but I guess cutting off a piece is gonna kind of change it up a little bit. We'll get it wet. And here's another thing. In the video, they also dip it in the water with the plastic on. That doesn't really show anything to me. Let's cut some of this off. I don't think the sword is as sharp as I thought it was. It must have got dull since I sharpened it. Alright, so we've cut off some pieces. Just to kind of fluff it around. There we go. Put it into a little ball. Why doesn't my lighter work? Okay, I have this lighter, but I feel like this is kind of cheating. I mean, this is a torch lighter, and that's still not lighting. All right. Still not lighting. Still not lighting. This is not looking good at all. This is the greatest fire starter I've ever seen. All right, let's just forget about the water. Let's try it dry. This little portion back here should be dry. This does appear to be dry. So let's break this up. There we go. Broke it all up into all these little fibers. See if maybe my lighter will work now. Okay, when it's dry, it works great. I'm gonna give it one more chance. I noticed that whenever I was trying to fluff it up, whenever it's wet, it doesn't quite break up and fluff up as well. I'm going to like pre-fluff it and then get it wet. And we'll see what that does. That's pre-fluffed. That's really, actually really fluffy, really nice. That wet? All right, that's probably worst case scenario. And yet again, it is not. Oh. Oh, we got a little flame. So this is kind of working. It's just not technically working because if it's wet, and you try to fluff it up, it's not going to fluff up that good. I mean, even with the blowtorch, it wasn't light. And this is just barely staying lit. Yeah, I just don't think there's any way that you're gonna... Okay, I mean, that works. I would say this stuff is... It's not like trash, I wouldn't say. And the only reason I wouldn't say that it's trash is because if you leave it in the plastic, technically you're going to be fine. And as long as you like cut a piece off of it and don't separate the plastic, then you're going to be fine. It does work good when it's dry. In the commercials, they show dipping in water and then it working. That's not the case. I feel like that's just a flat out lie. Because it's, I mean, even with a blowtorch, you can't get it to light. Just barely. And that's with a blowtorch. And that's pre-fluffed. So coming out of the thing, I mean, it's impossible. I would look elsewhere for your fire starting needs, honestly. Next product. This one's going to be super fast because I don't even remember ordering this, and I don't remember, like, even what was even going through my head when I ordered this, because there's not really much I can do. It's a collapsible bucket. And there's only one thing that I can really test with a collapsible bucket. I mean, there it is. It does collapse. It's not the smoothest to kind of get back, but it's not bad. It's real thin. I imagine it would work great as a bucket. There's only one test we can do. It does in fact hold water, and you can use it for bucket things. Oh, there we go. We can pour the water back. So that's the collapsible bucket test. The only negative I have to say about this bucket, because I think it would be good for anything really, but the one negative that I have is if I have a bucket, it's always nice to be able to flip a bucket over and be able to use it as a seat. And with this one, you can't do that because it just collapses. So that's kind of a negative. But if you're looking for a bucket that can fit in tight spaces, this is the one. All right, next up we have this Coher saw, foldable saw. This saw was, the reason I wanted to test this was, I think it was $7 or something? Between $7 and $10. It was on the cheap side, and I just was like, there's no way this thing is really going to be worth that much. And if you'll notice, instead of like a 2x4 or something, I have an actual, what used to be a tree branch, which is what you would be cutting with a saw like this. So this thing is exactly 2 inches thick. So I feel like that's a pretty standard tree branch thickness. So this will give us a really good idea. Very, very flimsy. I'm sure you can hear that wobble. Very much what you would expect. Oh, and that safety does not inspire much confidence. That safety actually has me worried. Let's see if we can cut through this. Oh, okay. What is this? Wait a minute. Oh. It has two, I thought I broke it. So it has two locking positions. I guess level and then that way. But this thing will bend all the way up to here. Okay. I thought I broke it. I guess we're good. Oh. Oh, you know what? I bet I hit my hand on it. And that's probably why it changed. Come on. Okay. I mean, it worked. And that didn't, I don't know how long that took, but it wasn't very long. It was able to chew through that very easily. It works, but I'm hesitant to like, I don't think I'd recommend this to anybody. Even after that sawing one little branch, it's significantly looser than it was to start with. And then with the lock, let me just show you up close. So the lock, you can see, very wobbly. The whole blade is wobbly. The blade can easily go all the way back and can easily break the lock. The whole locking mechanism is not very sturdy at all. So this thing is just, I feel like this is just a sliced open arm just waiting to happen. So now I want to do something with this saw that is pretty stupid, which is pretty on par with everything else that I do. I want to test the safety. So I'm going to have this glove on. I'm going to put this towel over my hand. And what I want to do is hit the back of the blade and see how much force it's going to take for this safety to fail and see if it'll like close on my hand. I have a feeling it probably won't be much. So let's kind of be easy. Oh, that wasn't bad. With every single hit, it gets so wobbly. And I'm not even hitting that hard. The blade is literally about to fall out. Okay, I'm impressed it's held on this long. Let's hit it hard. Oh, alright. Oh. Oh, it didn't fail, it was starting to. Oh, there we go. For some reason it didn't like snap back and hit my hand. So that was not a lot of hits. Oh, that completely broke out the handle and everything. That was not a lot of hits to make the safety completely fail. I honestly feel like that would break maybe after 20 or 30 like cuts or something, just as I suspected. Cheap saw, pretty pathetic. Alright, our last product is kind of a, well not kind of, it is a comparison. This is an emergency bivvy, which I've opened these 100 times on this channel. This is the same thing, except for this one is supposed to be like some super duper ultra best thing ever, blah blah blah. This one was $10. This one was $25. And I honestly just want to see what the difference is and see if, because this one claims it's like tear proof and thicker and better and all this type of stuff. And this one also says that it's like tear proof and blah blah blah. I honestly just want to see what you're getting for more than double the price. Honestly, let's open this one first. This one, you get a little bag. You do. You get a little bag in this one. These look like they're gonna be the same thing, honestly. get a little whistle on this one. This one doesn't have a whistle. More than double the price, and you can't even put a whistle on there? This is your classic, yeah, this is your classic, like, baked potato looking thing that you climb into. Emergency bivvy. Now let's see what's in this one. I swear, if I open this thing and it's the exact same color and it looks the exact same, oh, it's green, okay. So it's not the same color, which honestly is probably kind of a bad thing, because if you were to use this in like a survival situation, wouldn't you want it to be orange so that you can be seen, not green where you're gonna blend in? Let's see here. Let's see what the difference is. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I was about to say, I opened this side right here, and I thought that this was just going to unfold into a regular blanket and not even be a sleeping bag like this one, whenever this thing is advertised as a sleeping bag. But it doesn't. It is, in fact, a sleeping bag. The only difference that I can see is the color, for one. Arguably, green is going to be way worse than orange, depending, I guess, on your situation and if you're trying to be seen or not be seen. And this one has a little lip at the top. And this one doesn't have a lip, but it's a sleeping bag. I feel like they have the same kind of tape. They feel the thickness feels exactly the same. Like no question about it. They feel the exact same. The tapes look the same roughly. They're just different colors. Let me. Oh wow, I can tear a hole in that really easy. Oh, can tear a hole in that real easy. Although this one did feel a little bit easier to tear a hole into. Let's see. Okay, there is something different going on here. Because I can tear a hole in it pretty easy, but it stretches more than this one. This one kind of... Actually, you know what? Maybe I just made that up. Because that... No, never mind. That's the exact same. Maybe one's warmer than the other? Ugh. I'm going to stand here with this thing on for a minute or two. And I'm going to try to get a gauge of the warmth. And then I'll compare it to the other one. Because this thing actually feels pretty toasty. Like, I feel like if I stand in here for more than like probably 10 minutes, I'm going to start sweating. Okay? I can feel the outside of my skin like almost getting like wet. Like I'm about to start sweating almost. So that's kind of cool. Alright. Let's try the other one. I can tell you one thing. This one right here smells weird inside. Way worse than the orange one. The orange one actually smells like halfway decent. This one kind of stinks. But as I stand here, nothing feels any different. They literally just feel the exact same. I'm getting the same feeling with this one as I was the other one. Did you see how easy that ripped? For being super duper anti-tear, double the price. You wouldn't think it would rip this easy. One spot that doesn't rip easy. The tape. Conclusion to that. Let's see, what brand is this? This says, "Don't die in the woods." I say that that is a scam. You should not be paying more than double the price for that. If you're interested in one, I would go with just the classic orange one. It does all the same stuff, half the price, and it works great. So, that is all. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.